Hey folks, and welcome to Mashinky and the 5th era update. We have just entered the 2nd era, and we've got some work to do. Let's see, where are we at here? I was hoping the Port Job Express was going to roll into that station, but I'm well off there. We got a ways before that happens. Now, logs processing, select an option. Let's check out this quest really quickly, first of all. So we can either, we basically can promise to deliver a certain amount of logs. Let's see, before I choose, I don't have to choose at the moment. We can see what we're already doing and see how reasonable it is to, meet either one of those goals. So if we go to statistics for this Bunyan train here, we can see that on average, he's doing close to 70 a year. Although 105 in 1939 somehow. Maybe snuck in one extra delivery since it carries 35 at a time. Almost certainly what happened in that case. So, and I believe that's the only train delivering lumber. No, we have logger here too. Probably about the same. Yeah, 70s. You did a 105 last year. So 200 does feel like a stretch. 200 a year. Yeah, unless we want to get a new train, which we could, but the thing is our money is still not coming in that quickly. And I think that's what we're going to address first before we get on with the other industry things that have just opened up. The iron coins, for example. So I think we'll just go for the 200. Because otherwise we're going to have to double up the trains that we have going. We don't really have the money for that. So we'll do half capacity. So deliver 200 logs to any sawmill in 1 year. And you can repeat until you achieve it. So it'll check each year. I'll pin this so we can kind of keep an eye on it. It's doable, but it won't necessarily happen every year. Now our money situation. Oh, actually, first of all, before we go any further, I was looking at our new trains in here. And I completely forgot that you can build extensions for depots as well as other types of buildings. Thanks to, it was a comment from Love Your Games mentioned that. I appreciate that. It completely slipped my mind. So we can build this locomotive works expansion. I guess it'll probably go behind so it could slide right in. Oh, only one depot. I don't know why this is not working, but yeah, we have it on hard mode, which means only one depot. Although I thought touching would be fine, but whatever. We'll go to the side. And just by placing that, we have now options to more trains. The Elishka was not there, which is extremely light and can pull 159 tons, and it's fairly small. Okay. And then we've got the GS2. Fastest train available. Can pull a ton of weight. It's quite heavy, but it can pull almost an extra 500 tons. But it costs 2 copper, and it's fairly long. And we're not generating copper fast enough to pay for that. We can actually see how much we're generating. These are 2 very good rows to look at. There's the vehicle's fuel. Right now we're only using fuel with green tokens. We don't have any trains that use another type of fuel. And last year we spent 205 on fuel. Well, we had 723 in stations income. So we're making enough to provide fuel. That's kind of the barometer. You want to make enough to pay for the fuel. Everything else is a one-time expense. Other than the loan share, which we should start paying off. We're down to 13. Oh, that's for the year. Yeah, another reason to start making more money is because we're paying 60 a year for the interest. We are making 36 coal tokens per year, so we could support a couple of trains if we wanted to. But first, money situation. We do have post opening, and Irvine is just building completely away from our station. So I think we might want to consider an Irvine north and south. And I think it's definitely time to start doing more to encourage towns to build where we want them to build. So what that would mean in this case is a road. Any building in the blue will be, you know, will feed into your station. So I like to build a road one away from the blue. That way if they build on either side of the road, they will be in the catchment area. Some buildings are too wide, so they'll extend out, but that's fine. As long as part of the building is inside, you're set. So I'm just going to build a circle around and up to here. It's fairly cheap to build roads. Intersections get a bit more expensive. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I forgot. Okay, yeah, just out to there. Okay, something like that to start. Yeah, this, I mean, once we get rich, we'll just bulldoze all of this maybe or something. Another thing you can do that's not terribly expensive to discourage building is build some, you know, do some terrain manipulation. So for example, nothing behind this church is in our catchment area, which we could expand in certain ways, but we're kind of already getting blocked off from that. We could come here and say, raise the terrain up a little bit, and that enough won't do it, but if we get it into rock, that's no longer a buildable area. And it didn't cost us too much, -8 times 4. So that's something to consider. And I totally built that wrong because now part of it is in our catchment area. So I'm going to go one back and end up wasting double the money that we needed to. Okay, there we go. So that's the idea. Hopefully they stop building this way. I would like to get this post involved because you can make a decent amount of money delivering mail. Not to mention growing the towns, which is really the other thing we need to do to start making money. Again, that's our only other post office. We can go link up to Arlington up here. Which I think maybe we'll do. The thing is, this wide highway is starting to kind of get us into some trouble. Because we have situations where we have resources now that are being straddled by the railway. Which isn't terrible, but it's also not terribly ideal. For example, we now have coal coming into the station, which I did turn off last episode. I'm just going to go ahead and turn that on. There's no harm in coal coming here. We might use that temporarily, or I might just move everything. But either way, there's not some finite amount of coal, or sorry, iron ore that we're going to lose. So I'll just leave it on so we know that it creates it. But now that we'd have 2 resources here, and we already have 2 trains coming here, we'd probably want another platform. And then it starts getting more difficult on getting out of here. So I would probably want to just maybe move all of this out to here, so we could support 2, 3, or even more platforms, and have a longer exit before we get in, so trains aren't waiting to get into a station and blocking the freeway. I mean, we have a, you know, this actually isn't bad. It's a little tight getting out, but we have enough space for 1 full-length train, and then this is just to kind of speed things along so it hits a signal faster. Yeah, well, that's actually, this is, yeah, okay, so we've got 1 train that would wait here, and then, you know, this train, instead of waiting here in the intersection, it would pull forward as far as it could and get out of the way as quickly as it could. But anyway, first things first, money, and I think we go up to the post in Arlington. We build another station in Irvine across and try to get Irvine under control. Kind of like in a similar way as this road building. And maybe branch out and get up to Arlington. Although 249, let's see, say we just started banking our highway up this way. That's 58 theirs, so that'd be another 100. Yeah, it would be a little too expensive with 249 to build out there and to get a train going. So we're going to see what we can do to get money going a little bit faster than that. And I think the answer has to be a mail car and another Irvine station, which is a little unfortunate. I don't love building a second station for one city, but it's not the worst thing ever. And it's actually fairly well positioned given it's in this big block. So I think we'll just do it there so it's aligned with our station below. It's getting mail. Let's see, we'll call this is called Irvine Station. We'll call it Irvine. Let's call it Irvine South. We'll get the station out of the name. And this will be Irvine North. Irvine North. Don't add the near Irvine part in the name. There we go. Okay. So it's already collecting mail. No passengers because nothing's in the catchment range, but we'll go ahead and get the waiting room in. Well, no, we won't yet. We'll get it in soon. And the question is, how do we connect up to Irvine North? Well, we're going to be coming from Norfolk, which Norfolk has one way to go. It comes down here. And it's basically forced to go into Irvine South. I mean, we could make an Irvine South to Irvine North, although I don't know if passengers will get off and get back on, considering they to them it's all the same city, and they're not interested in going anywhere within the same city, not in this game. So we might have them continue and then break off from here, maybe. Although that's a kind of a funky line, but we'll just maybe change where the station's at. So we'll raise it up, say. Maybe even one more. Although when we add our waiting room, that will mean the catchment area, which is now only goes up to here, will go beyond the tracks, which means that's space we're losing out on because they can't build houses on the rail. So let's see where this would turn from. Yeah, we can't build over a signal, so we'll do that. Yeah, let's just move it up one. That's fine. And we'll get an exit signal on each end. Okay. Go ahead and demolish these two. Okay. And since you're going to go back up to this post office, you're sort of already set up to get back on this line here. And let's see, where maybe here would be good. Okay. One in, one out. This is about enough to support one train waiting. So we'll leave that as it is. We'll get one more signal on the end here right before it gets on. And let's see. I'm going to do the same here. I know I've been talking about giving kind of precedence to the trains going south, which is sort of the case. These guys will stop and... Actually, no. In this case, we're giving slight precedence to the trains coming this way. So a train here will stop if anyone is even past this signal coming this way. But the problem is, say this train does beat him here and gets in. Now this guy's waiting way back here instead of waiting closer. So it does have its drawbacks. So I am going to go ahead and have people wait as close as they can. And then as soon as whatever train gets here first passes this signal, that will turn one of these green and they can follow right behind him. And the time it takes to kind of speed up usually is long enough where, you know, signals this close won't matter. It'll have already moved on and gone to the next signal, so they'll space out that way. And then we'll put one more here before the entrance. So in case... So these two merges will come wait as close as they can. Now, if a train cannot get through its next signal, I don't want it to stop and wait in this intersection. I don't want a train, say, that's coming down through here and then out to here. Our train here, for example. Say this Irvine train is coming down and for some reason can't get through this signal. I don't want it to wait in the intersection. I want it to only go if it can get through this next signal, because otherwise it might block a train that's just coming directly south. So we will change these two to chain signals. So that means wait here unless this signal is green and the next signal you're going through is green, to make sure you get all the way through the intersection. Yeah, this looks good. Blue bomber going through, logger coming up. And as you can see, we did the same thing on this side. Okay, cool. So we're collecting mail. I think we'll just get a mail car going that also grabs a few people. Yeah, because it's going to stop at these stops anyway. I mean, we could have it... We could do something like this and have a passing lane. And have it connect, say... If it connected there, we wouldn't be able to go on the inside. Should we just get a mail car? That might be kind of fun. And then build a passing lane? Yeah, you know... Let's try that. And you'll come up here. So we'll have a little bit of a cross. Which is fine. I mean, that's no worse than a merge, which we would be doing otherwise. And then here. You know, if we're just going to go these two stations back and forth, it probably would have made more sense to come in this way. And then, can you get around this current turn? No, not really. But you could probably come in and merge. No. We'd have to lower the station one. Which would be fine because we're not coming into the station anyway. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. We'll just do that. And it's right next to the post office anyway, which is the whole reason we're here. So bulldoze all this. All of this. This signal now can go back to being regular. And I'm really banking on moving it down one being enough to make that U-turn. Okay. So you can get out here now. Excellent. Yeah, let's just make a quick mail. Irvine, I could probably just call it Irvine Mail, but people will show up here eventually. And you'll... Can't build over the crossing, so we'll do that. Okay. One at the front, one at the end. Wait to merge here. I like having signals at the exits to merges. That way, as soon as the train, like, say two come at the same time, one will go. As soon as they get past this signal, the next one can go. But it's starting from a standstill, so it'll take a while, and by the time it gets to this signal, hopefully the train will be past the next signal so it can accelerate without having to slow down. And yeah, we'll have one here and then one here at the exit. So we'll bump that one up a little bit closer to this entrance and move that down, or move the other one. So I might be over signaling a bit, but we'll go to our change signals here. I mean, yes, you can over signal, but the nice thing about extra signals is that it can kind of speed up the flow a bit. Trains can follow each other a little more closely, get going a little bit more quickly once a train moves on ahead of them, you know. All right, so that's already set up. Yeah, that's a little bit more simple, and since it's just mail, I'm happy with that. It only holds 50, huh? We'll get a freight station for the mail. No, we don't really have those tokens. Yeah, money first. Money first, then we'll start boosting the other tokens. Okay. Now, how fast are the trains that are on this network already? 47. So we don't really have any places to pass. And it's kind of one at a time waiting in line. So we'll probably keep it at 47. Mail is pretty light, if I recall. Yeah, let's go with a good old 460 Baldwin. Although this might be a good job for the Alishka. The mail, I believe, is quite light. Yeah, 15 tons. I think that's by far the lightest you'll find. Logs, 50 tons for 15 pieces of timber. 45, 32, yeah. Well, the smallest person car is 16 tons. But yeah, mail, by far the least, 15 tons. And yes, you will be slowing people down on occasion, but then you'll be coming off onto this circuit. People can pass you. 28 miles an hour versus 47. And that's a pretty big difference. I think we're just going to have to go with the Baldwin. Which is fine because the Baldwin can easily hold all this. So we'll make a 6-link train. We're still on those, right? We haven't started expanding stations yet. But yeah, we don't really have the tokens. And we'll see how many we can get until we get up to our max weight, which is 224 before we start losing speed. Got a max length of 6 before we start losing loading and unloading speed. Yeah, 5.43. That's way more mail than they're going to produce. In fact, I might want to take a bit off because I do think this affects your acceleration. I can't find the numbers for it in the game. but I do believe that your acceleration suffers the closer you get to this weight limit, or just the more weight you have. Or maybe it's in relation to your power, I'm not sure, but we'll keep it at this much mail. Eh, what the hell. We have the cars, I'm going to forget about them, they'll just sit in here. We'll see, so this train is going to go to... yeah, we'll have it go here first, because it can just loop right around and come in that way. And then you will go to good friends over in Norfolk. That'll be your route. Train 11. Alright, the mail carrier. Call you Malone. And off Malone goes. Another Baldwin. Something we've seen many times here. The mail car doors all open. Hopefully those get closed after pickup. I didn't even catch how many you could hold. 63 pieces of mail, okay. Oh, and you can hold more than 50, okay. Yeah, 50 seemed way too low. But they don't produce all that fast. Well, one person, that's like as much as a forest or a coal mine or something. 128. I feel like I need a different color where it's white font, didn't I? So we hit our 200, so we will definitely take that 150. We're down to 43. I mean, we did spend money on this and ripping all this down a couple times. So Irvine could just grow into a massive city and maybe these both become two-way stations. So you can see the Malone waiting here. I'm actually surprised Malone went as quickly as he did, given that this arrow was still red. Oh, he's coming back in here. Okay, yeah, this arrow turned green. That's why he went. All right, now if Malone can get past this signal before Logger gets here, he wants to slow down, but he didn't quite make it. So there's Logger. So that signal was red because Malone was just in this block still. Even though this next signal was green, these still do act as signals that look ahead into their current block. So there goes Logger, making the long trip down here. We haven't really looked down here this episode. Very weird layout. But trains can't turn around on hard mode. We could have done things like build a turnaround or a Y. As it can be called. But I'm okay with the loops, but it will get congested. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys still are all sharing one single track. And we've got at least 4 trains. I believe it's 5, actually. Yeah, 2 log, 2 timber, 1 coal. Maybe 2 coal. Yeah, 2 coal. We have 6 trains going to the same destination on a single track. So that will lead to some slowdowns and stoppages, unless we do something about it. But the first thing we need to do is make money. So here comes Malone, full load, 22 mail waiting here, 145 waiting there. So he'll be busy for a while, but I don't think it'll be long before he catches up. But that'll help growth, that'll help money. He's carrying 165.7. So mail is worth more than people, in a sense, in this game. I don't see exactly how that's calculated. I mean, there is this token divided by 50 catchment. I mean, this looks like the catchment area symbol to me. If you go to extensions for your station, you go to signal box, your catchment area goes up by 2. Oh no, wait, hold on. Just the size of your station goes up by 2. Not your catchment area could go by a different number. Okay, so this is just tiles. So is this distance I travel maybe? The train travels? I'm not sure. That's something I've never known for sure, or even vaguely. All right, so there's Malone. It's a big chunk of cash. Picking up more. Okay, we're up to 511 now. I think it's time to start thinking about our ore business. I mean, we have a station here. So we want to get ore, iron ore, up to... We were thinking, last episode we mentioned these ore and coal sources coming over to this foundry, which jumps straight down into the toolworks. I do like coming at it from this foundry. By the way, 2 toolworks right next to each other. Sort of inconvenient, but also has me thinking maybe we redesign this a bit in the future where we've got 2 massive stations side by side and trains can just kind of... Well, they will have to pick one ahead of time. We won't just be able to let them go to whatever one is empty, because these still would have to be 2 separate stations. You can't make one big enough to catch both of these in their range. But I still think 2 massive stations could be cool. And then we could just see which one's busier and balance trains that way and have them drop off at different places. So anyway... Yes, I think this is where we'll go. I'm kind of getting hung up on this highway. I think it's too wide at this point. I mean, we did it for the turnarounds, which is nice. But if you build it correctly or efficiently, you shouldn't really need many turnarounds. We're using them quite extensively on this. And it is kind of my first time using main road, like main tracks that are this wide apart. But we'll keep going with it then and see how it goes. So given that, sometimes I find it's easier to work backwards. So our foundry we know is coming straight down. The coal mine is a fairly straight shot. Our highway, I guess, should maybe... I think it maybe should bend earlier than this and go under the coal. So maybe something... And we do have enough coins now to start throwing some of this down. Maybe something like that. Except, is that enough to turn around? Yeah, it is. Not necessarily cleanly if we had like an 8 length train, but our 6s should be fine. And maybe this stays up, maybe this stays up, maybe we bridge over. I'll peel them back a bit, but I'll leave them there just as kind of a reminder. Okay. And then we could also branch off near these cities and the sawmill if we want to come up here. Got the foundry here. And yeah, something like this. Let's see if this is enough space to turn around first of all. Oh yeah, it's plenty. Even one more tile than we normally have. But I'll keep it consistent. We'll go one up. Alright, that's still enough space to turn around? Yeah, that's kind of what we're going with right now. So delete all this. Okay. So there's our highway going up. Now, how is this iron ore going to get up here? I mean, building another station here would be fine. I mean, this entrance is pretty nice. Oh, we have the turnaround. Okay. Maybe we do a lot of turnarounding. Turning around. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to extend the station slightly. Although, we don't totally need to, but if we're going to have at least 3 trains coming here, maybe 4. We already have 2. I don't want to risk a train waiting right around here, or even in here, or down here. I want to get everyone in as quickly as we can and off the main road. Okay, so we'll do that. Trains can come in and go to either spot that's open. And I'll make these chains so they're only green. No, wait. No, I don't want them to make them chains. because I don't want people waiting at these signals. I do want them to come up and wait right by the entrance. I could make this one a chain, and that way it would only go to whatever one was free. But we won't. I think the trains can figure that out on their own. Can you even get over here? Yes, you can. Now, if we made this bridge larger and say had it come to here, we might be able to allow a train to sneak out here, but this is also a turnaround for this guy. So I'm thinking we need a new bridge. And it would have to be here. This is where it'd have to start. I'm not sure if this would be able to get over there. I would like, both sides would have to be able to get there. Oh, and they could. Yeah, it's a little funky looking. But it sort of looks cool, and it'll work. And we'll get a bridge going up here. And this will be our exit. You know what, we can afford... No, we can't. Get a wooden bridge, even that's pretty expensive for us. Okay. And that way, on your way out, if you're a logger, you can come out the normal way and come back around. If you are an iron ore train, you will come up this way because you're heading to the foundry. So I think we will just have you come straight up and merge onto the main highway. You know what? I'm going to take these down now. They're kind of bugging me. I mean, we can tell that we can still go straight up if we want. Okay. And then on the way back, the iron ore would come down this way, deal with this little intersection. We might want to double track that. I don't know. Another intersection here, turn around and then back in. Is there a faster way in here on the turnaround? I mean, logger doesn't use the turnaround, but maybe we would want our iron ore train to use it. Maybe even only one away. That looks a little better. And would reduce the chance of a conflict with anyone just going straight up. Yeah, something to think about. We'll see. We'll monitor the traffic. Let's get this signaled. So this is a little more cramped than I would like because we've got a lot of cells where the track is kind of splitting off. There's two tracks going two different directions in this one cell, which means we cannot signal this. There's too much overlap. Same up here. So we really only have one opportunity to signal getting up onto this bridge, and we don't want to signal right here, for example, because it's kind of a steep incline. We don't want a train going from a dead stop uphill. Some of the weaker trains will get stuck and they won't be able to do it. And on hard mode, they will just stop. They won't operate at a severely reduced speed like they will on normal. So that's something we cannot allow to happen. So we really don't want to have a signal on the bridge until we get at least to the halfway point. Because bear in mind, they stop behind the signal, so the train will be either right up near it or maybe even one cell behind. But it certainly won't go over the arrow. It stays behind the arrow. But that should be good enough. If the train's on a flat surface, I think it should be able to pull up whatever's behind it. We'll get one right at the bottom too. And we'll get a main signal here. It's nice to have the signals on the exits of your crisscross intersections. That way, as soon as a train as soon as a train leaves, it clears things up. The block is kind of free. Like if this signal wasn't here, and maybe another train wanted to come out and go through, it wouldn't be able to until it was past this signal up here, because it would still be in this big block. So that's why we put this here, and as soon as it's past this signal, then these can start moving. Now, we want to use signals to break this block up. That way, as it stands right now, everything from this signal up here down and connecting all through these, because these are all connecting, Even if they're just crossing, they count as a connected block. That's all one block, so only one train is allowed in this entire section at a time. That means 2 trains can't leave at the same time, even if they're going different directions. And so we want to signal this up so we can do that. And we're going to use change signals because we don't want trains to kind of inch their way and get as far as they can and then block cross traffic. We want them to not make a move unless they think they can get all the way through to one of their exit signals. So we will, let's take it by route. Like the train we just took is going to go this way. So I don't want you to, well, this one maybe doesn't need to be a chain, but we'll leave it a chain. I don't want you to leave and go out unless you can get through your next signal. In fact, I don't want to make that a chain. Get up to this as fast as you can, and if your next signal, if this is clear, keep going. It's the guys that are crossing the intersection that we don't want to just keep going. You, for example. I don't want you to even go and enter and even... I don't want you to cross either of these signals unless this signal is open. So, yeah, I don't want you to even come near this intersection. Basically, I don't want you to stop and block the opposite way. And we'll do the same thing, go in the other direction. Don't leave unless this is ahead of you is clear, this intersection is clear, this is clear, and this is clear, because I want you to hopefully get out of the way and not block anyone else. And that is probably enough, although I might do one, I might do another solid one here, just to kind of close off this block a bit. Otherwise, say this is not here. This is all one block all the way down to here, which honestly, you know, is sort of fine. But I kind of want someone coming out this way to not be interrupted by someone who's just starting to get out. Oh, right, yeah, if someone was coming out here and couldn't get through the intersection this way, someone coming out here would still be blocked because this section here would be full. So we do want to close that off. Okay. And that's the way he'll go. He'll eventually come wait up here, as will traffic coming this way. And they'll wait as short as possible because as soon as that next signal is clear, they're going to go. And we'll probably stick a few more in here. We're going length 8. Yeah, we don't have any length 8 trains or stations yet, but we'll go, well, I'll just go halfway since that one's in a weird spot. Halfway is fine. Alright, so we have max wood here. Is it worth building a storage building? Well, we can't afford it. The lumber's not coming in fast enough. But we do have some money coming in, so we can bump our train output pretty soon here. Let's see what we want to do with the coal. So I think the iron ore is pretty well figured out. And then obviously we need to figure out the foundry station. The coal mine... I mean, one clean way would just be up here and then across and then back up to here. The problem is coming back, which we could do with maybe a little bridge here and up. Let's just try that. And then over here. Is that too high for you to reach? It would be, but we could maybe build a... yeah, we'll just build a platform. And as you can see, that lowers our range by 1, and that grabs the mine. Okay. So we're going to move these signals slightly so they're on the exits. We'll put one more in the middle again. And if there is no like exact middle, I like to push it a little bit towards the entrance. Just because these blocks can be shorter because trains are going to need time to to accelerate and catch up, and that takes a while. Okay. We'll do 8 all the way up to here, which just happens to land right where we want it. We'll get one here, one at the exit, or entrance, and then one at the exit. Yeah, we'll throw another couple halfway here. Okay, so that's coal getting in from our depot. Oh, you know, given that, I wonder if we have space through here. It looks like we didn't quite make enough space. We might want to extend this bridge. But this might be a good place for a turnaround. Not there. Yeah, the bridge is too close. And the reason I say turnaround is because we have this path going straight up into the coal mine, which is nice and clean. But if we don't use it on the way back, then it's sort of a pointless entrance for now. It's only going to be used coming out of the depot for the first run, and then never again. And you don't really want to build track that's going to be used one time. Or I think you at least want to plan for it. I mean, we'd eventually use it probably for something else, but... In fact, I do want to move this station a little bit. I have to go like this, and like this. I'm gonna go 2 out here, and hope that the platform still reaches good. Okay. Now the reason being is I'm gonna leave this here, but I don't think we're gonna come all the way back here and use it again on our return. I'm thinking more we bridge here and come across. Now in the future, we're going to need more room to get into the station. That way trains don't clog up the track waiting to get into a station. So I think ultimately we would get in to the station something like this. And then pull up and then wait in here off to the side. We don't need that yet, but I want to make sure we have room for it. And on the way back... Let's see where we would have room to kind of get in and turn around. I don't think this would work. Oh, it would. Okay, we'll do that. I think that looks fine. Okay, let's get our bridge in, our expensive bridge. We do have money coming in, though. We do have a quest that we're already fulfilling. Toolworks to Baltimore. That's lucky. It could have been this one or the other one. Or was it just those two? We just have those 2 toolworks right now. Okay. And I think for the game, other things pop up each new era. Like cities will pop up every era. But I don't know if a new toolworks will. But anyway, we'll see. I kind of hope one doesn't, because I like the idea of building that massive station for both toolworks. Massive 2 stations, really. That sort of maybe is built to look like one. Yeah, let's get our bridge in here. I think we will splurge for the stone viaduct. Yep. And we'll join up here. Okay, we'll get one. Maybe right as you come down the bridge. Maybe there. Okay. So we've got coal there and back. Now we just need to hook up our foundry and send it down to the toolworks. Get our trains purchased and in, and then we will have some sort of steady iron income. Our cash seems to be doing better. We will our mail train is just now finally starting to get to the point where it's catching up. It's dropping off a full load, but it's not going to be leaving with one. How is Irvine doing? Or Norfolk, rather. Yeah, Norfolk's down to 20 mail. And the mail doesn't increase with population. The mail just produces mail at a consistent rate no matter what. So that train is basically going to start having diminishing returns at this point. But it's okay. It's helping with growth. It's made us a nice chunk of money. This town is up to 16 buildings. We're catching them all. El Paso did grow onto our little rogue street here, so that works. We can't see the catchment area because of, I guess, a visual bug with this one. We can kind of guess. And Norfolk is growing and we're catching everything here too. We probably want to, while we're here, build some roads. That one turns right away, right? Yeah, and then let's go straight up from there. Around. Oops, didn't mean to have that turn in there. 1 coin, very affordable. Did I get that right? Yeah. Alright, I'll let them build any other roads besides that they want. But that should leave plenty of space for them to build houses in our catchment range. Get this building in the way we want, because Irvine just got completely out of control. And Baltimore is on the verge of out of control, but still there somehow. In fact, I'm going to 50 to do that. Yeah, we won't. I'm going to discourage this a bit, though. Okay, we'll get a little mountain going. Looks pretty good. And yeah. They won't build roads out this way anymore. A house could still go up over here, though. So we'll do it one more time. Put a little mountain range over here. Great. Okay. Cool. Okay, well, we didn't get iron set up like I thought we would. But I think we have increased our money green token income slightly. Oh yeah, we doubled it from 1 year to the next. So that had to be the mail. But that will drop off because now that we've caught up on all the back order mail, basically. Okay, 35 on that pickup. How many do you have waiting for you down here? Already 14. So yeah, it looks like it'll probably be about 30 a trip, which comes to, didn't see, maybe about 84? I don't know. It'll be a decent money maker. These towns will keep growing. We might even be able to, no, not quite support another car. Might be worth thinking about investing in a restaurant, though. Capacity doesn't help us much, but income sure does. Alright, well, we'll think about that, and we'll finish off this line, start getting our iron tokens coming in, and then kind of review our lumber and coal, because those could be coming in much faster, especially the lumber. We've got 18 waiting here. Yeah, we probably, and I think we've got plenty of logs. We could probably get another logging train coming down. Yeah, 145. And we still have other extensions we can build to increase that even further. Cool. Well, I think we will leave it there. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.